Hello, everybody. Welcome to this special episode of the Holy Hot Honey Hour. We are on location here at Pizzeria Bocci. We took an awesome trip up here to talk to this gentleman, Chris Weisman. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you taking it out on your day off and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to get into it. So my co-host Matt isn't with us. He is in Sweden, so I'm going to be running the ship. So to start it out, you usually say no to a lot of interviews. What made you say yes to an idiot like me?
Well, you're not an idiot. I'm kind of private. I really don't like, my words can kind of get me in a little bit of trouble sometimes. So I try to limit them. And I like seeing people succeed. And I see you guys are upstarting and kind of starting at the bottom. And I kind of would like to be a part of something special.
We appreciate that. We really do. When you said yes, I was like, oh shit, this is cool as hell. Like we're gonna get to talk to this guy. We saw your video. My first introduction to you was actually the video of you standing in front of the store, and you're like, we are a small pizzeria with
Howdy.
very little decor. Howdy, yes. And I couldn't stop laughing the entire time. I'm sure it was made for laughs, but it was also part serious as well. Tell us a little bit about your story aside from that little clip.
Well, that video came about because at the time we were in the middle of Low HUD was running a Best Pizza in Westchester.
Okay.
So we started getting a bunch of new customers coming in because we started getting a little publicity, and people don't realize that this really isn't your average pizzeria. We are a little bit different. We don't do slices. We don't deliver. We open up at 4 o'clock. And we take pre-orders from 3 to 4. So somebody calling for the first time, maybe like at 4:30, 5 o'clock, thinking they're going to get a pizza in 20 minutes, are sadly mistaken.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point, it's usually around, half hour or hour and a half, 2 hours. So we made that video to kind of let people know that, hey, it's just me. We got one other worker and this is the way it is. So we tried to have a little bit of fun with it. And that's it. The place started 5 years ago after my cancer. I came back and I had no money. I was broke, looking in my couches for change, like I said. And so I made a deal with a guy with a bar. He had a kitchen in the back that he wasn't using. So I went in there with a dream and begging him to let me in there for a year. I said, just give me a year in there. Let me do my thing. Let me make some pizza. And he finally agreed. And that was it. Everyone said we were crazy. There's pizzerias all around us. But my style of pizza is different. I take a lot of care in my dough, and I'm known for, my fermentation and my dough process, and it sets us apart.
And when you first opened, as you said, you had no slices, which is pretty atypical for a New York shop. Was there a reason that you decided not to do slices, or you're kind of just like, I want to focus on making the best possible pies and not worry about, bogged down by slices?
Yeah, that was part of the reason. The other reason is I hate slices. I hate going back and forth to the oven, putting in slices. Someone coming in asking me a goddamn slice with mushrooms and anchovies. I just didn't want to be bothered with it. And my whole business model is I don't have to make a lot of money to make money. So I don't need to be doing the slices if I can. My business model is really crazy. I had a kind of a number set in my head that I wanted to make every week. And how I get to that number kind of dictated what I would do. So when I first opened in the bar, I actually did slices. I did deliveries. I was open for lunch. I was doing the whole thing. And I was slowly dying. And so I finally decided to close one day, and my numbers stayed the same. They actually even got a little bit better.
And way less work to be.
Way less work. Then I decided I took away the lunch. I only opened up at 4 o'clock, and my numbers stayed the same and started getting a little bit better. So I says, okay, took away slices, numbers are the same, even a little bit better. So I got to my number without having to deliver or do slices or open for lunch. Yeah. And so as long as I'm able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it kind of works, because if somebody comes in and they want a slice, but they're like, oh, but I'm not going to get a slice, I'll get a pie, ticket price automatically goes up. So that helps.
Yeah, I mean, for every 10 people that come in looking for a slice, 5 will get a small pie, 5 will walk out and curse me out.
Yeah. But I mean, it's obviously, it's a numbers game. And then, the 5 that walk out, unfortunately, they'll probably walk out of anywhere they go for some reason or another anyway, because a lot of people just find reasons to be unhappy with something.
Well, I'm not looking for the quick slice guy. I want people that really appreciate pizza. You want 2 slices quick just to get full, go somewhere else. This is not your place. I want people that really appreciate pizza, that know good pizza, that realize what went into this pizza.
And you can taste it when you eat it, the care and the actual mindfulness that goes into the dough and the sauce and stuff. You can tell that the qualities, the care and preparation is always put into it. So you run the place You mentioned that you do all of the work. You make the pies, you make the dough, the sauce, and that helps with your ability to keep payroll down, which is huge. So now, if you were to find yourself expanding, how would you be? Would you be a little bit open to teaching somebody, or would you now try and be in two places at once to make sure that everything was done the exact way that you're doing it?
Well, we're opening another location down in Ardsley.
Okay.
Actually, probably within a month or so. We have been working on it for the last year and a half. But I'm gonna be in charge of all the dough, so I'm gonna be making the dough up here
Okay.
and shipping it down to there. So
Okay.
I will still be the only one making the dough for the both places.
Okay, cool. Very good. That's a
Now,
great way to make sure that the quality stays the same.
100%.
Because you can't, if you have somebody else doing it, their attention to detail and making sure that everything is done correctly at the right time, the process is the main thing, right? Because the process of it all is what makes the outcome the way it is.
100%. Yes.
So, all right. You were quoted as saying that you were put on this earth for two things: to have salon quality hair and make good pizza. Who has better hair, you or Ron Burgundy?
I don't know. I've been growing mine out. I mean, it's looking pretty
It
good right
looks good.
now.
It looks
Yeah, I'm
good.
not gonna lie. I don't know. We'll have to do a poll on this one.
Because that's where that quote comes from, right? Anchorman?
100%.
Yep.
Yes. Fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's awesome. So my next question, you were very open with your battle with cancer, your battle with mental health issues. How has that shaped the way that you approach making pizzas, the way you approach how you run your pizzeria, the different charitable events that you do?
I think one thing is I'm not looking for money. I'm not like really doing it for. I'm making pizza because I love it.
Mm.
It's something I just love to do. I love to just stay in my little on my bench and make pizzas. I'm in my own like little world, my little zen. And I feel very fortunate, honestly, to be here. I went through a bunch of trying times and somehow made it through. So I kind of feel that there's a bigger
Mm.
purpose. I'm not 100% sure what that is yet, but I feel I am here for a bigger reason. And I do like to give back. I'm very blessed,
Mm.
and I've seen a lot. And if I can help out somebody or just be a positive influence to somebody, really feel strongly about it.
And that's big. I mean, it helps with community because when you're in a small community like you are, it's tight knit, and people resonate with that.
100%.
In my pizzeria, we try and do similar with a lot of endeavors with whether it's football team or the baseball team or whatever it is, any charity. I think that's what helps you set up a foothold in your community.
We never say no to anyone coming in for donations or charities. We never say no.
You put a lot of effort into the dough process. What's more temperamental, your hair or the dough?
The dough, 100%. My hair, I just wake up, I want to comb through it.
It's natural.
Nice and easy, natural. I didn't even have to dye it yet, which is nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
That's
really good.
good.
I can't say the same about this. The hair is okay. The dough is very temperamental. I mean,
Mm.
it's very, you got to watch it all the time. I live 2 blocks away from here, which is great
Mm.
because I'm always experimenting. I'd like to do room temperature bulk fermentation
Okay.
sometimes. So I'll leave dough out for 8, 10 hours and play with it and see how far I can get, see if we can push the limits and how it changes the flavor and the complexity of it. And, so I like to have fun. So, the dough is very temperamental,
Very,
especially with the sourdough starter. Oh my God, forget about it. It's like having a child.
right. You have to feed that all the
You got
time.
to
You have to
feed
be
it
on
all the
top of
time. You got to
time.
watch it. You got to, when it's at its peak, you use it. When it's not, you got to wait. It's a game.
Yeah. Oh, sure. And when you're tinkering with the dough as much as you do, is there a point where you're like, this is really good, I'm going to implement this into the pizzeria, or are you doing that for future considerations and other projects?
I just like trying to make the best. I like trying to make my pizza better tomorrow than I did today. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And you're always learning. It's funny because you actually learn, I think, a lot with your screw ups.
Yeah.
Like I've walked backwards into finding new techniques and new ways to do things
Mm.
accidentally. I accidentally leave something out too long and it comes out great. I accidentally leave a couple of dough racks in the refrigerator a day or two late. Oh wow, this tastes really good. It's always kind of like playing around,
So,
seeing how far you can push it because
mm.
you got to get to that holy grail.
Mm.
And there's that like the line of insanity and genius. It's almost the same with like the dough is absolutely perfect right now,
Mm.
and in 2 hours it's going to be shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like
So exciting. So, and then as you're mastering all these different techniques and avenues, was there a batch of dough that you're like, I need to figure out a way that I can duplicate this all the time because this
well, you're
produced,
always writing down what
you have a
yeah,
book full
yeah,
of all
yeah,
your,
yeah. I mean, unless you screw up and then you of course write down what you did wrong
yeah,
or
yeah.
what you did, but you always want to kind of keep notes and you kind of have an idea of where you're at.
Because
Yeah.
we spoke to Augie from Tiny Pizza Kitchen, and he showed us his little manual. He had this book, and he was like, "I've been writing down pizza recipes and every single thing that I did for every dough for the last like I don't know." It was like a huge book, and I guess you have to because you have to worry. You have to know what temperature to make the water based on the temperature outside, the humidity, the dough friction in the bowl. Like there's so many components that I don't think people really fully understand because they're just so used to getting the run of the mill pizza from a New York slice shop. I don't think they really understand the full scope of what goes into making a pie
None at all.
and how like going back to temperamental, but how temperamental it is and how without the right time or temperature or certain things you won't get the same results.
Or something so small can change everything. It's crazy.
Now, like you had mentioned before we started filming that there's been a couple times where you weren't happy with the dough and you just scrapped the day because you said this isn't quality that I'm used to putting out. So do you take into factors like what caused those things to mitigate them having, or is it just every time is different because there's more humidity, it's colder?
It's usually my fault. Usually, sometimes I'll get this great idea to use a different flour, and I'm not familiar with the flour,
Mm,
so the dough doesn't come out the right way that I want it, or something
gotcha.
like that. So it's usually my mistake
Mm,
that I make. But again, like if somebody's traveling, hour, even 30 minutes for my pizza, I want to make sure that they get the best product that I can produce, especially
absolutely.
with all this publicity and people talking about it. It's kind of extra pressure, which I like, but it's hard to live up to people's expectations. I
For
mean,
sure.
how many times people, oh, this is the best pizza, this is great, and you get there and it's good, but
Mm,
it's kind of hard to live up to that
mhm,
hype, especially if something is hyped so much.
yeah.
So I find that
I
I
think
really want to be on my toes for that.
Yeah, and I think also it's hard because when somebody has it for the first time and maybe they don't they have the expectation or the expectation isn't that high and then it exceeds the expectation and then they have that expectation that they want, it's hard for you to even like you get the same sandwich twice from the same spot and it's not always the same. Sometimes like it's
Yeah.
made a little different and I guess you control that by being the only one. So you mentioned that the sauce is the same consistency, like amount wise, the cheese is the same
Hmm.
consistency, and that allows the experience each time for the customer to be the same or as close to the same as the last one.
Yeah. I mean, that's my biggest complaint when, you go somewhere one time and something is phenomenal and you go back there and it's completely different.
It doesn't
And that drives me insane, completely insane.
yeah.
So, I mean, the one thing, people know when they walk through here, they're going to see me on the bench. I'm going to be the one making their pizza.
Mhm.
I'm going to be the one seeing it come out of the oven,
Yeah.
so,
See,
I got nobody else to blame. If it
mm,
sucked and you didn't like it, buck stops with me.
yeah,
It's on
absolutely.
me.
And you mentioned that in your ad that you've had to fire a couple of customers. That's my favorite line I think I've ever heard anybody ever say because I'm sure everybody that works in the pizzeria industry or even just the service industry with people, they want to fire their customers. How does that come about? Is it like they're just unruly or is it just that
It's
they
just respect.
yeah,
Respect. You get what you put out. You know what I'm saying? If you come in with an attitude, you're going to get an attitude right back. That's
mm,
why, some people will say that I'm the biggest asshole, and other people will say I'm the nicest guy on earth. And you know what? They're both right
yeah,
because you're going to get what part of me you deserve. I mean, that's just
absolutely.
the way it is. So if you come in and the customer is always right, not here, it's not.
Mm.
Here, I'm always right. I hate to say it. It's my place. I mean, I'm very fair. I'm very nice to people. But if you come in with an attitude and you give me lip, I'll give it right back and I'll throw you out. I've taken, I had one guy who came in, and this is actually a funny story. One guy came in complaining about there were no seats. Now, I'm sorry, there's no seats. I mean, kept complaining, paid for his pizza, kept complaining. I gave him his money back. I took a pizza back. I says, listen, you're not eating my pizza.
Yeah,
I go, I'm sorry. I go,
you don't
I'm
deserve
not
this.
doing it. So he left. And then I actually felt a little bit bad. So I sent him the video of the howdy.
Mm,
And I told him, I'm sorry. This is the kind of place we are. I apologize. Next pizza's on me. And sure as shit, he came back a couple of weeks later and got a
awesome.
pizza. And I gave it to him. And I told him, listen, I'm not putting up with it. I'm
Mm.
sorry. I worked too hard. And that was that.
Has he come back since?
Yes, he has. He's
See?
actually here every other week.
And that's the evolution of, I guess, being honest with your customers and just being upfront. And if you don't hide anything from them, then they can't call you out on anything, right? If you're an open book, then what
Yeah, I'm a little too open sometimes, but
but I mean, I guess that's part of, the experiences, I mean, the stuff that you've gone through. I mean, you wanna, I guess, share those experiences with people and be a I guess, not a mentor because I don't want no, you're not trying to mentor people, but you're just trying to show them that you can get through things and, like, adversity might punch you in the face, but you can, get stronger.
everything's a learning stick. Everything that happens to you is a learning experience.
Mm.
Whether it be good or bad. And usually, unfortunately, the worst things that happen to you are the bigger lessons in life, and you have to go through them to learn. And that's a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you can see it because you tell the story about how you went to the pizza expo the first time you finished next to last or dead last,
Hmm.
and a lot of people could have been like, "Man, I can't hang with these guys," but instead you were like, "I want to see what I can do."
People will tell me, "Oh, it's rigged. Oh, all the same people win it. All don't worry about it, and this and that." But it's not. You just have to put in the time and put in the effort
Mm.
and come back and what did I do wrong? And be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That first pizza I made looked like shit. It did. I thought it looked great at the time, but looking at it, it did
It
not
didn't.
look that good.
Mm.
I saw a friend of mine who was doing very, very well what he was doing. I started watching him a little more closely, and sure as shit, every year I started getting better and better.
Born from fire and sweetness, forged in flavor, fresh chilies, raw honey, real warmth, aged to perfection, balanced by nature, smooth, rich, and just enough heat to keep it holy. Holy Head Honey, divinely sweet, sinfully spicy.
And that's just the testament to pushing through everything and not letting any adversity knock you down. And I think so. All right, going back to the beginning, where did your love for pizza come from? Where did this insatiable appetite for making great pies and eating great pizza?
When I was a kid, I would see my friends' parents and all these people getting off the train in their suits, and everybody would be miserable. Everybody would just be complaining, and just nobody was happy. I'd walk in to get my pizzas on Friday night, and Jimmy and Dino behind the pizza counter were smiling, laughing, breaking balls in their t-shirts. The Yankee game was on the TV. And so I says, why can't I live like this? Why
Mm.
can't I make money watching Yankees with a t-shirt on? Why do I have to get up in a suit and tie and go to somewhere where I hate? So unfortunately, they don't tell you how tough the pizza business is. That just did look a little like fun then, but as you kind of progress and it's once it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? I opened up my first place when I was 19 years old in Tucson. I was out in Tucson, Arizona. I saw how terrible the pizza was out there. They were using frozen dough. So I says, let me try it out
Mm.
there. And so I started out there and I opened my first pizzeria and haven't looked back since.
How long were you in Tucson for? Well, I guess all together, but how long was the pizzeria there?
Pizzeria was there for about 2.5 years till I told you the cartel blew it up.
Yeah.
But I
Can you
was
tell
in,
that story on here, or do you mind?
I don't mind. I
Yeah.
was in Arizona for about 10 years.
Okay.
But I guess the previous tenant from the pizzeria, I had a deal with some people in the cartel that they would store marijuana there for a couple of days till it got picked up.
Okay.
So they went out of business and then I took it over and they came in thinking that they were going to do the same deal. And
Mm.
I refused and we were negotiating and they decided to just blow it up.
And did you know prior to making the deal with the gentleman that you bought it from that this was?
No, I didn't even buy it from him. It was just out of business.
Oh,
It was just
okay.
out of business. It was just a vacant. That's why I don't understand why they didn't just go rent the damn thing.
Yeah, that's true too,
You know,
right? Have somebody pretend like they're making pizzas,
exactly. You
save
know,
a lot of energy and blowing a store up.
exactly.
So, all right, so the store blows up, and then what's your next move
My next move.
aside from like, holy shit, I'm alive?
Well, then I stayed out in Arizona and was a criminal for a while.
I mean, we don't have to go into any of that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask you about it. Okay, so then you moved from Arizona back to New York, and do you jump right back into working in pizzerias?
Yeah, right back into making pizza. I worked for a guy down in Scarsdale for a while who subsequently got convicted of tax evasion. But I actually learned a lot of stuff from him just on running a business
Mhm.
and doing stuff like that. Also, not what to do. I learned a lot about
Pay your
that
taxes.
and also how to finagle people. But
Mhm.
that was it. So then opened up in Mayapack and like I've just been had a couple places
Mhm.
at the time, and then I got struck with cancer, and so then I had cancer I got stage 3B, so it was pretty bad, and it took me about a year and a half to treatment and recovery and kind of get back into it.
And did you step away from them? I mean, obviously you weren't because you were going through treatment, but did you sell the business at that point, or you were kind of just letting your employees? Yeah.
No, this other business that I had it over in Cortland Manor,
Oh,
and I had a problem with some little wannabe mobsters. It kind of worked out good because I found out I had cancer and they were taking me to court and trying to get the place. So I got word to them that how great I was doing and that I
Mm.
was going to be expanding and opening another place. So they broke in and destroyed the place, which is exactly what I kind of wanted them to do
Oh, okay.
because I had to go to treatment and I didn't have
Mm.
time to sell it.
Yeah.
So they came in and destroyed the place. They put cement in the ovens and tore up they just tore the place apart.
Jeez.
Yeah, pretty wild.
That's wild. Yeah, that is wild. Between your one store getting blown up and then you,
I thought it was more wild the mob taking you to court. What the hell are they doing?
yeah, the mob takes you. I can only imagine what that was about.
Yeah.
They trying to say that you stole the recipe or something, or
No, this is a story. I coached Little League with this guy, and he was supposedly this financial whiz. So he tasted my food and said how amazing it was and wanted me to open up a place. Said he'll back me, he'll open it up for me and whatever. So I actually found a place, and when it was time to sign the lease, he didn't have the money. So, but he says he can get the money. So he gets the money from one of his friends who's a wannabe wise guy. And so we go and we get the lease and we start construction on it. So he comes to me and he's in the construction business. He tells me he's going to help redo the place, $5,000. I don't have to pay him back right away, whatever. Okay, sounds good. So then I've had people coming in telling me about how great the place is going to do. This place is going to be amazing. And so he tells me that he doesn't want his money back. He just wants to be a partner. So I says, you know how to make pizza? You know how to cook? No.
Yeah,
I says, I don't need you to be a partner. I just need your money. So he says, no, he's like, it's my place. You get the fuck out. And he threatened to break my legs. So I left. I talked to my lawyer friend and I told him the situation. He says, you know, who signed the lease? I says, I did. He says, okay, the place is yours. I says, okay. He says, so what are they doing now? I says, they're fixing it up. He says, okay, as your legal advisor, advise you just to go on vacation for a couple months and let them finish. And then we'll handle it. So they finished. And then this guy, it's funny, he actually had the balls. None of them knew how to make pizza. So they're actually getting ready to open the place and they don't know how to run a pizzeria. So this guy calls me and wants to have a meeting with me and smooth things over. So we sit down and we meet. I'll never forget, this is a good one. So we sit down and we meet. And he tells me that he wants to let me be a 10% partner. Now, mind you, I was a 50% partner before they threw me out. So he says, I'm going to be a 10% partner. Okay. So I told him that's an offer. I'm going to give him a counter offer right now. And I says, right now, as we were speaking, my girlfriend is over with the locksmiths and they're changing the locks on the building and I'm taking it back. And he started laughing, not believing me. So I FaceTimed and I showed him and he was not very happy. And so, you know, the police, they come with the police the next day. I show them the lease. It's in my name. These two guys who are financial whiz, they don't know how to read a goddamn lease and understand that I own it. So that was that. So I locked them out and they ended up taking me to court and tried to bleed me like through lawyer bills and shit like that. But I ended up managing to open and I was able to stay afloat and pay my legal bills and keep it open. And that's when I got hit with the cancer. And so I kind of let their greed kind of do my dirty work.
makes it all worked out in the end, right?
All worked out in the end.
You battle cancer and I mean, stuff that you've gone through. I mean, a lot of people would just pull up the reins and be like, I'm retiring. I'm gonna just,
I need money for retirement.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to my next question. You go through all these things and this crazy up and down, succeeding, getting your business blown up, and then you build this pizzeria from scratch, and then you're offered a lot of money, a lot of money that most people would take, and I'll mention it because so you're offered $450,000. I mentioned that most people would retire because when you're offered that much money and you've gone through what you've gone through, a lot of people would just be like, it's time for me to mail it in and move to an island. What was the drive for you to say, I'm not gonna take a deal with the devil?
Yeah, actually, I did think about it. It was very, very tempting, but I believe it was an offer from the devil. For the first time, like I've been very happy and like kind of at peace here, and I really just love it here. And like I told you before, I could have taken the 450, probably taken 150, opened up another Baci somewhere else, and probably been successful. But just there's just something about here where it's home. And like I said, my customers are absolutely incredible. Like the foundation I have with my customers, I can't even begin to tell you how appreciative I am.
That's good because it's very easy to just be like, I've made it, I'm here, and let me take the money, collect the benefits from all my hard work. But you're still trying to prove that you're not, that you haven't reached the top of the mountain. Because I think if people take that money, they feel like they've reached the pinnacle, but you're still pushing.
I love what I do and I love where I'm doing it. And like I told you, I live 2 minutes away from here. I mean, I probably could open up another Baci 15, 20 minutes away and do the same type of numbers, if not more. But like I said, it was never about that. This was just about, I just want enough money to live and to give back and to be able to, just do things I want to do. And nothing crazy. I drive a Honda. I don't need a Mercedes. I don't need, all these extravagant things. I'm, very simple. I don't know. Like I said, I just believe that was a deal from the devil that was testing me because like I said, for the first time in my life, I feel very peace and happy and like I belong here.
And things are starting to get into a groove and why disrupt the apple cart, so to speak.
100%. Yeah.
That makes sense. It makes sense for sure. And it's it's really, it's a testament to how growing doesn't really stop, and money can't be the end all to be all and make that what you're searching for. 'Cause if you're always searching for money, then you're always gonna be poor, I
No.
think.
You do what you love to do and the money will follow. The money will come. You know what I mean? You try to figure out a way to do what you love to do and make money doing it. That's
Mm,
all. Like I love to make pizza. I love working with the dough. Like we said, how temperamental it is. Every day is different.
yeah,
So it's another challenge. I got to try to figure out like, what did I do wrong? What did I do right?
mm.
What can we do to make it better? You know,
And that's also that's a big part of mental health too, right? Because I mean, mental
100%.
health is every day is a new struggle. What do you do to break through what was holding you back the day before? To break, what you know, for barriers that you might have, so that you can get out of your shell a little bit. And I think there's a lot of parallels to working with the dough and working with your mental health.
I think it's very, very therapeutic. You know, I like to sometimes stay here in just complete silence for a couple of hours and just roll dough and, cut dough or, and it's kind of like a surreal type of feeling. I
Yeah,
don't know. I mean,
absolutely.
if you've done it, you
Yeah,
understand what
no,
I'm talking
absolutely,
about.
100%.
You've done it. Like you're there by yourself and it's just you and the dough and you just, all these thoughts that are going through your head and it's almost like, times of clarity.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So, do you listen to music a lot when you're making the dough, or is it a lot of in silence? Because a lot of times when I make the dough and I'm by myself, I'm pretty much in silence. But that's just because it's like I'm in the zone, and then I realize like, oh, I'm inside. I've been in
Yeah.
silence for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it all depends on how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Some
Mhm.
days I'll come in, I'll throw in Little Wayne and get crazy. Other days I'll come in, I'll throw in Sinatra. Other days I'll sit in silence. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of how you feel.
So you're very involved in charity organizations and giving back to the community. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys do with your different charity events.
Well, especially like I know how hard it is, dealing with cancer and
Mm,
especially financially. So anything we can do to like help another family, especially like local families around here, we always will try to do something, have a big fundraiser or something to give back. And I feel very strongly about that. It's usually, especially there's one poor girl got cancer, so we had of course a charity event,
mm,
but then everyone has these events and then nobody hears about it any after.
mm.
You know what I mean? Like honestly, you don't even sometimes know if they live or died.
Yeah.
Like you just don't hear from them anymore. And it's like, these people are still struggling every day. So what we had done is we had every Tuesday, it was Alex,
Mm,
this poor girl Alex who had cancer from the school. So, we had our big fundraiser for her. I think we raised like $7,000. It was a really, really big, good fundraiser.
that's awesome.
But then we kept it every Tuesday from 4 to 8. Every like large pizza you bought, we would donate 100% of that sale to her.
Okay.
So, they were coming in every week getting $400 or $500 cash from that one day, and we were able to keep it going. And
Mm.
so, and I said, we're not going to stop until you and your whole family come in and have a dinner here and you're healed. And we didn't.
And how's she doing now? Is she in remission, or is she?
Yeah, thankfully she's doing great.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so I saw that you took part in the Slice Out Hunger events as
Oh
well.
yeah.
Tell us about like your experience just being around other pizzaiolas and being around Scott and his infectious.
Scott's amazing. He's just an amazing guy, especially for the pizza community. What he does is unmatched. And even the social causes. I
Mhm,
mean, it's just great to have a bunch of. I mean, listen, let's face it, we're pizza guys. We're not all there. I mean, we got a couple of screws loose, but to have us all come together and for like good events and charities, and it's really something special. Especially like you see like all these big names and they're so humble and they come out and the support and it's just good to kind of like make a little bit of a difference. I mean,
mm,
to be honest with you, I mean I'm a fucking pizza maker. I mean, what the hell is? I'm not like saving cancer or building nuclear rockets.
mm,
Like, but if I can give back in any kind of way, even like you throw a stone, you make that little ripple. It could be a little ripple effect. So even though I might not think what I'm doing is that big, but it might have that little ripple effect.
that carry.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It 100% does because we, on, at our pizzeria on Long Island, we do a lot of community stuff as well because we feel that having the platform to be able to provide some uplifting for the community or for somebody's event, it works a lot. It does a lot to build strength in the community for everybody involved. So it's good to see. That's one of the reasons why I do love the community because it is together. Everybody works together. It's not a competition. It's not, oh well, you're making a pizza and you're stealing my business. It's let's work together. And have you noticed that as well, where it's a very much we'll all come together, we'll kick around ideas, we'll make the best pies we can make and just spread as much love as possible.
I get along with everybody around here. I mean, for the most part. I mean, unless you really do something to piss me off, but I can pretty much go into any pizzeria and borrow a sleeve of boxes if I need it, and they can come here. Although I usually don't have much, but if I have it, I would definitely give it to them. And yeah, no, community is very big, especially we live in a time right now where everything's so impersonal.
Mm.
Everyone's too busy looking on their phones and scrolling and doing all this other shit. And so when we come together and like do like nice events like Slice Out Hunger, and you have everybody together, and it's really not that tech. It's people are just actually communicating
Yeah,
and talking with each other and there for a good cause and everything. So that's why I mean, especially this community has been nothing but amazing to me.
Mm.
They're the most supportive people. When I actually blew my knee out 2 years ago, like 2 weeks ago, I dislocated I had patella reattachment surgery. I'd rather have cancer again. Let me tell you that. This is still the worst thing in the world. I still can't even bend my fucking leg.
Crafted from raw honey and fresh chilies, a balance of sweet and subtle warmth, aged with care to deepen every note, paired with cheeses and charcuterie, glaze across golden fried chicken, drizzle over wood-fired pizza, a touch transforms everything. Holy hot honey, divinely sweet, sinfully spicy.
Oh, sorry.
Curse, it's fine. And how many bags of flour were you carrying when you did that?
No, I was playing basketball with my son.
I'm just kidding.
And I wasn't even doing any Aaron Boone bullshit. I literally was going up for a layup on a 9-year-old, and I got destroyed myself. But anyway, I thought I'd be fine like in a month or two. I didn't realize like I was not going to be able to work for at least 3 or 4 months, and it was that bad. So I mean, I was in big time jeopardy of closing. And they started a GoFundMe page. I mean, I'm almost embarrassed, but I mean, they got over $20,000. I mean, to help a little asshole pizza guy stay in business.
But I mean, that's the thing. You see yourself as that because you're very self-deprecating, but you do all these things for the community that like you don't do them because like nobody is not.
I was never expecting that kind of a payback.
But like, it makes it easier for people to rally around you if you're already willing to help the community and you're there for them. Then they're going to be there for you, and I think that's a part of why it's being a part. Not because you don't go into it and be like, oh, I'm going to help you because if I need help, you do it because you want to be a.
I was blown away by the support.
It's a testament to how much they care about you and they see what you do for the community, and you not being here would almost hurt the community in the surrounding area because of how caring you are about the people and willing to help them and also provide amazing pizza for them. So I mean that's a big part of it too. But like if you were just some asshole small pizzeria, they go out of business every day, and especially under that situation. So like it's a testament to how amazing of a person and how good to the community you are. So like I called myself an idiot at the beginning and you stopped me, so I'm going to stop you from calling yourself an asshole.
Yeah, I got to work on that. I'm talking to my therapist about that now.
It's all right. No, I mean, it's so easy to beat yourself up on a daily basis because you have a front row seat to all your fuck ups. Like you look in the mirror and you see all your fuck ups and you can't hide from it. You can't hide from that voice that's telling you, you fucked up, you're fucked up. So like it's easy to beat yourself up, but like you going out there and talking about it and you going out there and building yourself up and building the community, I think that's part of why your body was like, don't take this deal from the devil. Because it's like that comfortability. Like you might not find that peace anywhere else.
Money is not going to make you happy. I mean, you could give me $300,000 today. It's not going to change the way I feel about life. I'm still going to be depressed tomorrow if I'm not in the right mindset or if I don't have the right things around me. I mean, it's not going to change anything.
And having these, it's almost like the most positive outlet that you can have. I mean, you come here, you have a positive impact on the community, you have a positive impact on the pizza community. So, I mean, it's a great outlet to have being here. So, maybe you get complacent if you take that money also. You never know, Because complacency, see these athletes or these musicians, they get that money and they stop trying as hard.
Sure.
So, it could have been, like that's like that little like voice inside you saying like, I have to get better. I have to keep working.
Yeah. I love what I do. And sometimes, you really can't put a price on what you love to do. And I'm happy here. One of my life dreams was to make pizza in Ardsley because that's another place like where I learned when I was a kid. There was this place, Gaetano. He had a little place right where I'm building mine. And so it was just a dream. And I honestly never thought it would be possible because the rents and everything. I was like, no, there's no way I'm ever going to open a pizzeria in Ardsley. Even when I was younger, no way. And then this kind of just like happened. And it's like, I'm actually going to be able to live my dream. Like I wanted to make pizza in Ardsley right there in
Mhm.
that same exact square, and I'm going to be able to do it. And so when that day happens, which should be very soon, I mean, I can't even, that's probably going to be like the biggest hit of crack you could take, you know.
Yeah,
That's going to be so euphoric to look out the window and
Mhm.
see that. And, you know, the same place that I looked at 40 years ago where I used to come. I mean,
Yeah,
that's going to be surreal.
that's gonna be amazing. Yeah, that's gonna be a really cool. I can only imagine that making
Yeah,
it
that's what I'm
really
looking
cool.
forward to.
So when you took this spot over, was this already a pizzeria, or did you have to do?
No, this was absolutely nothing. This was a pile of rubble, literally. I mean, I had to put in the walls, toilet bowl, everything.
Okay.
I built this, and like I told you, this place was special because I looked through the window and I could envision this whole entire thing set up. The entire thing, the way it is now, I could see that years ago when I put my hand through that window. And then to see it actually evolve and happen,
Mm.
it's just,
It's
it's amazing.
yeah, that's super cool to be able to watch that vision come to life,
100%.
and then watch it not only come to life but thrive in business. I'll figure out how to splice all that shit
Don't worry.
together. Okay, so yeah, so you opened up the business. How long have you guys been here?
I've been here 4 years.
Okay, so what was the biggest hurdle when you guys first opened up?
Getting out of our own way, just getting a system down. That was just probably the hardest one, especially with the way I run things. It's a little, you know, trying to figure out how many pizzas I could do in a certain amount of time
Mm.
comfortably. And because the worst thing, I hate people waiting. I hate, like, you know, I don't want to tell somebody 30 minutes and they come in 30 minutes and they got to wait another
Mhm.
20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I hate that. So at least this way, I mean, I could tell you up front, hey, listen, it's going to be an hour and a half.
Mm.
Take it or leave it. Like, I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you to come in 45 minutes and make you wait another half hour, which is what a lot of places do.
Yeah,
But,
sure.
you know, I hated that. So I just try to be upfront, and we just had to just try to get our systems together. I mean, of course, building a place was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, dealing with all the
Building department, I had a heart attack when I was on the phone one time with the building department because I was so stressed out. I've had 3 heart attacks as well. So I was literally on the phone with them. And I wish I had the heart attack a lot earlier, to be honest with you, because once I had the heart attack, fucking permits were coming my way like nothing. Everybody felt so bad. Health department was, well, can I use this kind of floor? Sure, use whatever you like. No problem. Are you okay? So, yeah, if I could do anything that better, I'd have the heart attack a couple months earlier because I would have been opened earlier.
So yeah, heart attack, cancer. You've had multiple heart attacks, right? Cancer, telesurgery. So like you said, like nothing that anybody can say or do at this point could really like get you in your head, right? Like, I mean, I guess.
Well, a girl could.
I mean, a girl, yeah, but I mean that's a different story. Women
Yeah.
are different creatures altogether. They have abilities that are not, we can't talk about on this, but so once you're free of that noise of that whole like people bothering you, did that allow you to just stop worrying about like the process, stop worrying about the end results, and just focus on the here and now?
I think people sometimes are more concerned about what other people are doing, and they're worried about other people instead of just worrying about themselves. You know, I do my Instagram and my Facebook, but I'm not on social media really. On there maybe once a day, and I'll answer, you know, some messages or whatever. But I'm not trying to see what this person's doing, what that person's doing. Like, I just try to stay focused and just do the best thing that I can do. You know, for me, like, I know what I want to do. I know what kind of pizza I want to serve, and I just try to, you know, do the best that I can do. Not to say that, you know, you can't get ideas from other people. Of course you can, but like, I think that people are spending too much time worrying about what other people are doing. You should just kind of go with their gut, or go with like what they want to do. Like, people said I was nuts for not doing slices and not being open for lunch, but I know physically I can't do the two. I don't want anyone else doing my dough and my pizzas. I've tried things, you know, I had a pizza guy come in for like a month, and I was going to have him do the days and I was going to do nights, but it just, you know, it didn't work out. And so, you know, like I said, I've come to a spot where I found what works for me and I'm happy with it. Like I said, you were talking about like labor costs. My labor cost is 5%, which is unheard of. My food cost is under 20% because I'm the one putting the cheese on the pizza. I don't put 2 pounds of cheese on every pizza. Not because I'm cheap, but because you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
it's a pizza. You're not supposed to, you know, you want extra cheese, you can ask for extra cheese, but
yeah, it's not supposed to be the cheese pull competition.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, with Instagram and look at this cheese pull with 4 pounds of cheese on it, you know, whatever.
And so now, because you're starting to get, you know, a lot of recognition, you know, you're starting to take home some awards in the community and stuff. How do you manage the quality versus the influx in demand?
Well, I could tell you what I'm going to make next week. I mean, I know what I'm going to, I could tell you what I'm going to pretty much make tomorrow. I mean, I might be off $100, $200, but I could pretty much tell you what I'm going to do because it doesn't vary that much.
Yeah.
So I know, you know, that's why, like, when I run out, I'll run out. You know, I could make more and make more money, but it's not going to be the same. Or I could use my dough a little bit earlier and still make that extra money, but it's not what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I want to if you're going to come here an hour away or whatever, even 20 minutes, I want to give you the best pizza I can make. And I'm not going to cut corners like that. So, I mean, so there's really, that's the one thing when I was talking about, like, I don't really want Portnoy here, because if I were to get a good score, I don't need Joey from Hoboken coming up to take friggin' Instagram pictures, and then my regular Teresa can't get her pizza.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want that to happen. I don't need the sudden rush of people to come up here and, oh, he got a great score, we got to go try it. You know, I like the foundation that I built. I'm happy. I'm making my money every week, so I don't really need to expand or want to expand. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure.
Completely asinine in the business way.
No,
Because the money is there. I hate to say it. I mean, the money is there for the taking if I wanted to. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of money out there. But like I said, I'm happy with the way things are. I'm content. For the first time in my life, I'm actually getting somewhat normal, and don't really want to mess with it.
And a lot of people will take that, you know, because, you know, they're obsessed with material things, and they're obsessed with having, you know, the extra car or the extra, you know, they need a yacht, but they need a bigger yacht, but they need a vacation home and all these other things. I think because you're grounded and the distractions of the material things allows you to stay focused on the goal, which is create great pizza, have a reputable pizza place that doesn't have any corners cut or any compromises. And I think that you think that is a big part of it, because
100%. I would rather sell 50 pizzas that are absolutely amazing pizzas than 5,000 pizzas that are great pizzas. Honestly, I mean, even though there might not be that big of a difference, but I just want mine to be just really special. You know what I'm saying?
So, this is my last question.
Mhm.
So you make pizza all the time, dough, your hands are, you know, covered in flour all the time. Do you still find yourself craving pizza when you're not at the pizzeria?
Even more. I'm not a pizza. Are you kidding me? Because I normally don't eat pizza when I'm making.
Okay.
Very rarely. It's funny. Actually, the last 2 days, I actually made myself a small pie. The last 2 days with chicken cutlet, freaking slammed. But normally I don't even eat my own pizza, and it's funny because then when I do, I'll be like, wow, all right. I mean, I'll taste one every day. I'll do it.
Yeah, you
I do
gotta
a
do
test pie where I make sure the dough is right. Don't get me wrong. But as far as like eating like pizza, like I really don't. And then when I leave, like, yeah, I crave it big time, and it's tough because I really can't find really many pizzerias that I really, you know, I got to go to Brooklyn or.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That was gonna be my next question. So when you got that crave for a slice, what's your go-to spot, or some of your go-to spots? Because we spoke to Paulie G, and he had mentioned that there are no bests, only favorites, and I think that's probably the best way you can look at things. Because a lot of people are like, no, this is the best pizzeria. No, that's the best pizzeria.
Pizza is so subjective. Let me tell you. I mean, one person could love a pizza, another person could hate it. So that all you're trying to do is really just make a pizza that enough people will come and buy it that keeps you in business. To be honest, I mean, you know, everybody can, you know, oh, this is too well done. This is too this, too that. I mean, everyone's got their preference.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I was a kid, I had one place I liked for Sicilians, but I didn't like that place's regular. I'd like the other place's regular slice better. You know, so you definitely have like your favorites, but unfortunately, up here is like friggin', it's rough.
It's hard to find.
It's rough.
You got to take a trip down to
You got to go to Brooklyn or Philly.
We're in Philly.
Angelo's.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Because when we were talking to Paulie G, he has a spot he has a slice shop in Philly somewhere. But he said that they were driving through somewhere in Pennsylvania, and it said on a big billboard, the home of because you know how New Haven's saying that they're like the pizza capital. Yep. So this place in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania somewhere, was proclaiming to be the pizza capital of the world. And Paulie was like, I tried the pizza and it was not good.
Old Forge?
Yeah, Old Forge. Yeah.
That's like a whole pizza world onto their own. Yeah, they do like the square pizzas, and that's like a whole.
Yeah, I haven't tried that yet.
I've never tried it either myself, to be honest with you.
He said it was like Elio's.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It looks like, yeah.
So stay away from Pigeon Forge. Only in Pennsylvania for the good pizza.
Yeah, no, Philly is definitely one of the best pizza spots. They got a ton of really, really good pizzerias out there.
And I think like people are, you know, especially the people that live in New York, they're very, very regional centric. They think that the only place you're going to get a good pie is in New York. Like, and we've had conversations with Scott and a bunch of other people. There is plenty of other good people.
That's my favorite is New York water. So you can't make good pizza outside of New York. I mean, but meanwhile, one of the best pizzerias in the world is in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah. But yeah, and you know, it's crazy. This might not air. We actually just spoke to Lawrence Longo from Prince Street. I guess I guess it's father and son who started it. we're like, well, how are you going to get the water to be the same when you're doing this in LA? So they got some filtration system that they probably spent thousands and thousands of dollars on that's supposed to mimic New York style water so that they can create the New York slice. And we asked Scott, like, I didn't specifically mention like that Prince Street does it to Scott, but I asked Scott, I'm like, is it necessary? And he's like, no. If you're a good if you're a good baker, then you'll be able to work with whatever is given you, and you'll be able to make it as best as you'll be able to make
100%.
the best possible pie. Just knowing that what to do.
When I had the pizzeria in Arizona, because I wasn't that great of fermentation, all that, but I used Arrowhead water.
Okay.
I would just use the bottled water in the dough. And the dough came out great.
I guess because like the pH levels and like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
minerals and all that other
Yep.
stuff. So all right, that really concludes my interview. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, Chris. Thank you so much for granting us the opportunity to talk with you, and we appreciate it. We're here with Chris from Pizzeria Bocci.